In this lesson, we're going to be comparing fractions using percentages. Remember, we can compare fractions using equivalent fractions, but in this lesson, we'll concentrate on comparing fractions using percentages. Percentages are often used to compare performances. For example, if we say which one is a better mark, 20 out of 50 or 8 out of 25. So to compare these two fractions, we have to convert them to percentages. Remember how we convert fractions to percentages? We just multiply by 100%. So we say 20 out of 50 times 100%. We don't usually write the percent here. So you may write the percent symbol here or leave it out. Just treat it like a unit. We can divide 100 by 50, or you can start by dividing by 10 here. Divide 20 by 10, we get 2. Divide 50 by 10, we get 5. So we're left with 2 over 5 times 100 over 1. Right, we can still divide by 5, and then 5 divided by 5 is 1. 100 divided by 5, that's 20. So we are left with 2 times 20 over 1 times 1. Then this gives us 40, and then that is 40%. Right? And then what about 8 over 25? 8 over 25, we convert it to a percentage by multiplying by 100%, but we just write 100 there. And then we can use 25 here. The highest common factor between 100 and 25 is 25. So we can say 25 into 25, 1. 25 into 100, 4. And then we're left with 8 times 4 over 1 times 1, which is 32%. From this, we can see that 20 out of 50 is greater than 8 out of 25. So it means 20 out of 50 is a better mark. So this is a better mark. The other method you can do, we can use our knowledge about equivalent fractions. So we have 20 out of 50. We want to make it out of 100, which is the percentage. So we can multiply 50 by 2. But if you multiply 50 by 2, we must also multiply 20 by 2. If you multiply the denominator by a certain factor, you must also multiply the numerator by that factor. So it's going to be times 2 times 2. Then we get 40 out of 100, which is 40%. And then we have 8 out of 25. How do we make 25 to be 100? We say times 4. So if we multiply the denominator by 4, we must multiply the numerator by 4. So it becomes 32 out of 100, which is 32%. Let's do this example. Which is a bigger percentage between 6 out of 10 and 5 out of 8? So we have to convert these two to percentages. Then we can compare. Let 6 out of 10 times 100% over 1. Then we can start by dividing by 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1. 100 divided by 10 is 10. So we're left with 6 times 10 over 1 times 1, which is 60%. Right? 5 out of 8 times 100% over 1. The highest common factor between 8 and 100, that is 4. So we can use 4 here. 8 divided by 4, that is 2. And then 100 divided by 4, that is 25. So we're left with 5 times 25 over 2. And then 5 times 25. So you can say 5 times 5, that is 25. Carry 2. Then 5 times 2 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 12. So this is 125. 125 over 2. We can use short division here, but if you want to use long division, you can do so. So we use short division. 2 into 2 is 1. 2 into 12 is 6. Then 2 into 5 is 2. Remainder 1. Put a comma here. Remainder 1. So, and then 2 into 10. Remember, to the remainder, you must add a 0. So remainder 1, then you put a 0, becomes 10. Then 2 into 10, that is 5. Then meaning that this is equivalent to 62.5%, which is a bigger percentage between 6 out of 10 and 5 out of 8. So it means 5 out of 8 is a bigger percentage. You may pause the video here and do this activity, and then once you're done, you continue. Okay, let's do question 1a, which is a bigger percentage between 7 out of 9 and 17 out of 20. Let us say 7 out of 9 times 100% over 1. And then we can multiply 7 and 100. We get 700 over 9 times 1 over 9. And then we can divide by 9. 9 into 9, 1. 9 into 70, that is 7. 7, remainder 7. And then into 70, that's another 7. And then put a comma, remainder 7. Okay, 9 times 7 is 63, yes. So remainder 7, then we add a 0 to the remainder. 9 into 77, remainder 7. 9 into 77, remainder 7. 9 into 77, remainder 7. It's a non-terminating decimal which is recurring. So it goes on like that. So we can say this is 77.777% to 2 decimal places becomes 77, and then now this 7 will change and become 8 because of this 7. So it's going to be 8%. So it's going to be 77.78%. Right, and then 17 out of 20, then times 100 over 1. You can start by dividing by 10. 10 into 20 is 2. 10 into 100 is 10. And then 2 into 2, 1. 2 into 10, that is 5. So we're left with 17 times 5 over 1 times 1. Right? What is 17 times 5? 5 times 7, that is 35. Carry 3. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3, that is 8. So this is 85%. So now you can see that 17 out of 20 is a bigger percentage. Alright, what about 16 out of 96 and 20 out of 150? So let's start with this one. 16 out of 96 times 100 over 1. Alright, we can start by using 4, divide 16 by 4, divide 96 by 4, but also 16 can get into 96. How many times? About 6 times. But let's start with the easy one. We can say 16 divided by 4, that is 4. And then 96 divided by 4, that is 20. 4 into 9, that is 2, remainder 1 into 16, that's 24. So 4 into 96, that is 24. Then divide by 4. 4 into 4, 1. Then 4 into 24, 6. But if you could divide by 16 once, it was going to be fine also, because 16 can get into 96 6 times. We're left with what? We're left with 100 over 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 6 into 10 is 1, remainder 4. 6 into 40, that is 6, remainder 4, because 6 times 6 is 36, yes. 6, remainder 4, put a comma here, remainder 4, and then put a 0 next to the remainder. 6 into 46, again, remainder 4, put a 0 next to the remainder. 6 into 46, remainder 4, put a 0 next to the remainder. Again, this is what? This is a non-terminating and recurring decimal. If you round off to nearest 2 decimal places, this 6 will change and become 7 because of this 6 here. So it becomes 16.67%. And then 20 out of 150 times 100 over 1. You can start dividing by 10. 20 divided by 10 is 2. 150 divided by 10 is 15. We still have 15 and 100 here, so we can use 5. 15 divided by 5, that is 3. And then 100 divided by 5, that is 20. So what are we left with? 2 times 20 divided by 3, which is 40 over 3. And then you can say 3 into 3 is 1. 3 into 4 is 1, remainder 1. 3 into 10 is 3, remainder 1. Put a comma here, right? 3 remainder 1, and then 3 into 10, 3 remainder 1, put a 0 next to the remainder. 3 into 10, 3 remainder 1, put a 0 next to the remainder, like that. It goes on like that. So it's a non-terminating, non-recurring decimal. So this 3 will not change because the number to the right of it is less than 5. So it's going to be 13.33%. So meaning that 16 out of 96 is a bigger percentage. Let's compare 11 out of 44 and 16 out of 80. Let's start with 11 out of 44. 11 over 44 times 100 over 1. Between 11 and 44, the highest common factor is 11. So 11 into 11, 1. 11 into 44, 4. So we're left with 1 out of 4 times 100 over 1. Then 4 into 4, 1. 4 into 100, that's 25. So we're left with 1 times 25 over 1 times 1, which is 25%. What about 16 out of 80? 16 out of 80 times 100 over 1. Remember, we can divide across multiplication. So that's why we can divide by 10 here, remain with 8. Divide 100 by 10, we remain with 10. And then 8 and 16, 8 can get into 16. So 8 into 8, 1. 8 into 16, 2. So we're left with 2 times 10 over 1 times 1. And then which is 20%. Now we can see that 11 out of 44 is a bigger percentage. Question 2. Percy passed 19 out of 30 tests and Kim passed 15 out of 25 tests. Who performed better between these two learners? So we want to find who has a higher percentage of passes. So we can convert these into percentages. For Percy, 19 out of 30 times 100 over 1. You can divide by 10. 30 divided by 10 is 3. 100 divided by 10 is 10. So we're left with 19 times 10 over 3 times 1, which is 190 over 3. 3 into 3, 1. 3 into 19, that is 6. Remainder 1. 3 into 10, that is 3. And put a comma. 3 remainder 1. Then put a 0 next to the remainder. 3 into 10, 3 remainder 1. Put a 0 next to the remainder. It goes on like that. So it's a recurring decimal, which is 63.33%. When you're running off, this 3 will not change because the number to the right of it is less than 5. So Percy passed 63.33% of his tests. Then Kim passed 15 out of 25 of her test. So it's 15 out of 25 times 100 over 1. Here we can divide by 25. 25 into 25, 1. 25 into 100, 4. So we're left with 15 times 4 over 1 times 1, which is 60. 15 times 4 is 60, so this is 60%. So Kim passed 60% of her tests. So it means Percy performed better because he passed a higher percentage of his tests.